disclosures, it not requires a disclosure by the departments of their working. It is only one-time disclosures.
No, you have to update it. Why is it for teams, the budget allocations, the concessions granted to individuals, that will change every year. You have to update it, maybe even every 6 months it will change.
High courts have fined those people who have committed unnecessarily PILs, public interest litigation. Similarly, the frivolous information asked. In your opinion, should such people who are asking such information should be fined or not, so that the others don't do it?
You see, high courts are courts of plenary jurisdiction. They have vast powers. As on today, under the RTA law, the information commissions do not have any authority or power to punish an information seeker. Whether it should be, this power should be given or not, each one is entitled to his or her opinion. But as on today, there is no power with the information commissions.
Should it be there?
Your opinion is as good.
Here, a senior citizen retiring from the services at the age of 58 to 60 years. Whenever they seek some information, which a court to civil services there, municipal corporation to revenue authorities to, definitely there is a genuine cause for that information. My suggestion is, sir, when a senior citizen case comes to you, have a soft corner, may not be provided in the
Myself.
Sir, one of the objectives of RTI is to improve governance. Now, what is your feeling after introduction of RTI? Has the governance improved? Because as a public man or as a retired government officer, I find that the gap between the promises and the performance in respect of the politicians, in respect of the investors, is keeping on increasing rather than decreasing. Gap between the promises made and the performance. Because the governance depends largely how the administrators, how the political masters, how they are performing. Has RTI any impact on their working? And if I have to seek information that what is the gap between the promises and performance made by the different ministers, whom should I approach? And whom should
I don't think such information will be available in material form.
And the governance has improved. You kindly tell me.
There are two aspects to that. The enactment of the RTA, there is greater awareness among all the civil servants as well as the political leadership that what they write, the information they create, they have to be careful. Because the moment you put something on the noting, giving some benefit, awarding some contract, or any decision, it is under the law available for disclosure. So to that extent, I certainly feel that, that at the subconscious mind of decision makers, at the back of their mind, as I gave you examples, something like Commonwealth Games, QG, former Honorable President's own house issue. Now, these are examples of, people being shown red lights. Like, don't cross it, otherwise you may get into trouble. But yes, you have a point. I will concede that the systemic changes which should come as a consequence of the disclosures are not necessarily taking place. And this I would say, since you're a government employee, you mentioned, I'll give you examples. It's not just the political masters. We ourselves, civil servants, I get very often cases where an employee has retired, he has not been paid his provident fund because there is a gap, somewhere the numbers are missing. Somewhere the man was posted at 10 places, his service book is missing, and he hasn't been given pension. But this doesn't require a political master. It is we, the civil servants, who have to correct the system. It doesn't happen. Let me tell you that overwhelming users of RTA are the government employees themselves. And someone who said, people ask about third-party information, invariably the motivation may be personal. But if it leads to a public cause disclosure, the RTA Act says what is the purpose for which information is being asked. What is the intention of the information seeker? The PIO is not to ask that. This is the first underlying principle. You may be asking for the pleasure of it, you may be asking to expose someone, it may be your personal reason. You are not to ask the reasons. Of course, when the issues like what is public interest and whether privacy is being encroached upon, there are decisions where courts have said that motive of the information seeker, why is he seeking this information, they become relevant. But by and large, the rule is that you are not to ask the reasons why a person is seeking information.
Sir, my avoidable reasons or unavoidable reasons. Avoidable reasons such as negligence on the part of the authority, or unavoidable reasons like some natural calamity. In those cases, what are the provisions to restore the public information?
Well, the only thing which can be done is to reconstruct the information if it is reconstructed. Most of the states have also, central government has also passed a law regarding maintenance of records. And now, slowly, of course, but nevertheless, definitely, digitization is also taking place. Like revenue records are, substantially digitized now, so that you know it's available. But yes, if fire takes place, the record gets burnt or floods come. It happened in Patiala, for example, on 2 or 3 successive occasions. The only remedy is if it can be reconstructed, then it should be reconstructed.
President Mr. Singhal for next.
Honorable Sardar Ramesh Singh, Chief Guest this evening, distinguished members, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, you have enlightened the audience, and audience has been genuinely engaged on all issues which you have discussed. And your relation has always been par excellence. And some of we see that some of the people have become RTX activists just as a player and as a time pass, which is sometimes providing good information to the public. So we touched income tax, that they have the authority to ask for an income tax return. So you touched an issue that income tax have the authority to have an excess to ask for an income tax return annually. That is true. But sir, the income tax also have the authority. We saw a threat today coming from the Revenue Secretary saying that if anyone is likely to deposit lesser tax than the last year, then he should wait for the doorman to come and meet him personally, so that the money can be. It was there in the press today.
Yes.
Then ask a copy of the order and journal it in the court.
But nobody would like to challenge the
verbal.
income tax. It was not verbal, it is a matter of print. It has been issued by the Revenue Secretary to the Government of India. Sir, I have a friend who told me the benefit of RTI in such a fashion that it was thrilling him. He bought a land, agricultural land, about 30 years before at Khanna, and he bought probably 5 rupees or 10 rupees a square yard, and later on it became a part of the city. And now one day he receives a notice from the Improvement Trust that your land is under acquisition. So when the land is under acquisition by the order of the Improvement Trust, I believe it's a public interest and nothing can be done against this. But he came to know from a private source after about 6 months that the Improvement Trust has dropped the scheme. So he goes to the office of the Improvement Trust saying, अगर तुसी एक स्कीम ड्रॉप करती है तो मैंने चिट्ठी दे दो ताकि ये मेरा जरा जगह है ये मेरा टक है ये विकन दे लायक हो उन्हें किसी ने सलाह दी चिट्ठी का से नहीं सकते तो एक काम कर तो RTA की एप्लीकेशन पा दे और इधर वो सारे कागजात जिधर जो स्कीम ड्रॉप हुई है ऐसे सारे कागज दे दे and during the last 6 months before that he had not been sleeping all well because that was the only wealth he had. उन्हें चिट्ठी पाई जिससे उन्होंने सारे 10-15 कागज जितना जितो शुरू हुआ थे जितो मुक्या उन्होंने सारे कागज देते and he was extraordinarily happy that day and he had an extra drink as well because he was very happy because of this. Sir, I will be having some interaction on a few points. Many NGOs are making good use of this act for the service of the society. And there is a debate whether the NGOs to be brought under the RTA Act, how do you feel? Will it be useful in the times to come to bring NGOs into the Act? Yeah.
You know, in some laws of various countries, like South Africa for example, their information rights law, even private bodies purely are brought under the law if the issue of infringement of rights of citizen is involved. Now, which means all those private institutions which are operating in public domain as distinguished from private business, will get covered under that. The Indian law does not. Indian law, I have explained to you the definition of public authority. It brings in NGOs and private bodies only when they have received substantial financial assistance, directly or indirectly from the government.
That's right. So something known as social audit has emerged on the scene, and this process has also got the sanction of the government and the CAG. Do you feel that the social audit is going to stay and will be effective in the times to come? Like you said, that if you can collect the sample and send it for testing, will that be covered under something like social audit?
To be honest, I have not studied the issue of social audit, but yes, taking of samples, getting them tested, inspecting the works is certainly an instance of social audit. Certainly.
That's right. So do you feel, the gentleman touched here a point, that there is a shortage of staff in all offices of the state government? Do you feel that in the times to come, this act itself is going to be partly frustrated because of the information not coming? You may penalize, but how many people you can penalize in a go?
No,
the information is not coming.
There may be a serious constraint in some of the departments in terms of the manpower available, but that by itself will not impair the RTI, I would say. It may lead to delays here and there in few instances, but moment the application comes to the commission, invariably whether you have staff or not, the information is given.
That's right. So what we see is that the state government, Punjab government has come up with the Right to Service Act. This is a very unique kind of a model which has been adopted by the state government. And what we are reading in the newspaper, that the people which are available, which should have been available for the service to the society, they are not available, and there is a lot of pressure on the staff. So, do you think that this kind of a service act now already, an RTI, or the Service Act, all these, there is a readiness with the state government?
This is
to service everybody.
Yeah, this is an issue which is like egg and chicken, which comes first. Whether reforms come first or, these kind of integrity institutions come first. It's very right. Unless you first reform the government structures, these acts may not deliver to the maximum. To that extent, yes, Similarly, without these institutions, reforms may not be effective. Somehow, a plan really has to be found. And if there is a shortage of staff, then maybe more induction of electronic computers, other devices, etc., may help the government. But this is really an issue which concerns the government, and that they should answer.
Thank you very much, sir. With these words, we feel highly honored that you came in and enlightened all of us.
Thank you very much.
On my behalf and behalf of the audience, I sincerely thank Mr. Ali Singh. It was surely an outstanding address, sir. And I mean, it's such an interesting subject. I was totally clued, so much empowerment will come in with all this. And frankly, most of the people sitting here, nobody would have tried. But now I think we are more enlightened on the subject, and we can look into it and try our luck sometimes on this. Sir, I mean, the address was good. Now we got, at the macro level at least, we all will understand. And I think people need to understand it more, and more lectures should come in. So that people, honestly, everybody reads about RTI. We read it every other day in the newspapers. But frankly, none of us knew so much about it as yet. Sir, your degree in law is surely showing up, and your passion. And as Meji said, I think I have known Mr. Ali Singh for years. He's been more passionate on this post than he was with the Chief Secretary. Thank you very much, everybody. Kindly please join us for dinner. Before that, we have a small duty to perform. Request Dr. Khan to please give a token of thanks to Mr. Ali Singh.
I'm glad it is open disclosure.
Thank you very much, everybody. Kindly join us for dinner.